today's workout, we have open workout 22.1, which is a 15-minute AMRAP of 3 wall walks, 12 alternating dumbbell snatch, and 15 box jump overs. First off, I wasn't 100% sure if I was going to able to do this workout. For those that don't watch my channel or know what's going on, about 2 weeks ago I sustained a hamstring injury to my left leg. Haven't been able to do anything under load since then, and wasn't planning on doing anything under load for another few weeks. So I seen this announced and thought that I would give the dumbbell snatch a go to see how it felt. Built up to the weight, felt okay throughout the workout. Actually held up fairly well. A little bit of tightness towards the end there, but that's a combination of the box jumps as well, which is something that I hadn't done any sort of explosive jumping or anything like that as well. So that did play a factor during the start of the workout, but I'll get into the strategy first. So strategy for this one was relatively straightforward. I was to stay consistent on the wall walks. With dumbbell snatches, I wanted to do them unbroken, and again for the box jump overs, stay nice and consistent with those. So with any AMRAP, obviously pacing, it is a pacing workout. The thing that was obviously going to slow me down the most was going to be the wall walks. So how I was able to manage to continue to move on those wall walks without resting significant amounts of time was going to be important, and sort of managing the heart rate on the box jump overs. So maintaining a pace that I know that I could maintain for the amount of rounds that I was going to do, or for that 15 minutes. So relatively straightforward. Some key points within that. The efficiency on the wall walks is super important. So how you get up into your position, how many steps it takes you to get to the wall, and how many steps forward it takes to get down from the wall. All super important things. So I was aiming for 4 steps back and 4 steps forward on the wall walks. I managed to do 5 going back and 4 going forward. I could probably bring that down to 4 going towards the wall and 3 coming forward. I noticed, especially coming forward, my last hand movement was like 10 centimeters, so not very far. If I can sort of cut that down to the 3 moving forward, it'll make a significant difference in time under tension. Dumbbell snatch, I've done plenty of work with the dumbbell snatch, even though I was very hesitant on the first few rounds because I wasn't sure how my injury was going to respond. Obviously I did a warm-up beforehand, but the intensity slightly higher within a workout, and the volume was going to be significantly more, obviously, than what I was going to do for a warm-up. The other portion that I had to sort of keep in mind was the box jump overs. So with the box jump overs that I'm doing here, where you're sort of sitting in the bottom of your squat, I could definitely feel the injury. Didn't affect me too much, other than sort of in the later rounds where it did sort of tighten up, but that just forced me to slow down, didn't force me to change the technique or anything like that. So it actually held up pretty well and allowed me to continue on with the box jump overs. I stayed fairly consistent throughout the box jump overs. I obviously slowed down towards the later rounds, but stayed fairly consistent, kept it relatively close, and was quite pleased with the box jump overs. Other than, obviously, I would like to maintain a pace for a lot longer, but we can get into that in a little bit. So in regards to how the workout sort of felt, the wall wall walks were obviously all about the muscular fatigue. The dumbbell snatch was a place where you try and bring your heart rate down, so control your heart rate a lot more. And the box jump overs is where the heart rate spikes. So having a good strategy for that, making sure that the heart rate doesn't spike too high on the box jump overs. So for those of you that watched the open announcement and the battle between Velna and I forgot his name. And the other guy anyway. I should know his name. He went out a lot faster than Velna did on the first few rounds, and in the later rounds Velna caught him. So majority of this workout is going to be the jump overs. Even the top athletes slowed down on those. The ones that had a consistent box jump overs, the ones that tended to do better on the open announcement, because all you're doing when you're going out too hot is you're just going to sort of burn and crash towards the end. So having a good solid game plan for the box jump overs will make a massive difference in your workout. Now obviously if you have a lacking skill with the wall walks or shoulder endurance, that's going to play a factor as well. But if you're just purely talking about from a strategy point of view, having a solid plan for the box jump overs is going to be real important. Now things to try and remember on those wall walks is keep your midline nice and tight, so you're like in that hollow position. On one of the reps, I'm not sure if it's come up yet, I think it was rep number 2 of a particular round, sort of lost it at the wall and had to save the rep for that rep to count. You definitely don't want to be getting no reps, so that's where making sure hand position is super important, especially when coming down off that wall, that both fingers or hands are on that white piece of tape before your feet touch. For those that did the wall walks last year would know that the volume was a lot higher with the wall walks last year, so a little bit more fatiguing. The 3 felt pretty good, to be honest. Felt about right for the workout, and overall actually quite enjoyed the programming side of this particular workout, even though it's seems quite simple and basic on paper. So I don't want to sort of be glossing over the handstand walks and the importance of it. It's just it is a skill-based type movement, and you either have them, you've been practicing them, or you don't have them. Yes, you can definitely fluke a few, and you can sort of do a cram session before the workout, but you either have them or you don't. There are obviously things you can do to be more efficient. So like I mentioned, how many steps you take with your hands on the way towards the wall, and how many steps coming back away from the wall can play a big factor as well. But again, I see it as a skill-based type movement. Yes, of course, muscular endurance plays a big factor in it as well. But things to remember for that is staying tight through the midline and keeping those arms locked when moving as well. Will stop the you falling to the ground. So I think it's this set here that I get a bit swirly on the second rep, possibly, unless I've missed it. But you'll notice what I'll do here on the failed rep, if it's not this one, if you go back and watch it. That's not this set. I lost the tension in the tricep, so I bent the arms a little bit too much and sort of lost balance. Was able to save the rep, but could have been a lot worse. With the dumbbell snatch, my strategy for that one, like I mentioned, was to do it unbroken. Even if it means going a little bit slower than you normally would to maintain that sets unbroken is super important. You don't want to be resting during sets. Now, obviously, if you have to, you have to. But again, slowing it down to keep it unbroken is a good idea, unless you're super strict with your rest, resting for like one breath or 3 to 5 seconds. If you decide to break it up, and if you're doing that anyway, you're probably better off just doing them unbroken. Again, if you're able to, and staying as efficient as possible with that dumbbell snatch, again, goes a long way. So we'll have a close look at the box jump overs. So with this one, definitely going lateral is a lot faster. Where you land on the box is also super important. You want to land with your lead leg close to the edge of the box as much as possible, so you can sort of just shift it down onto the ground, and then you sort of twist with that other foot so you're facing the box, and then bringing that leg off. With the new standard, it's a new movement, so I guess it's a new standard for the movement, where you have to step down off the box. I don't have any issues with this, other than the fact that it's just a standard that you got to abide by, but found it quite intuitive doing it that way. Didn't really have any issues with the box jump overs, other than my existing injury. I was again quite hesitant in the first few rounds, so I wasn't trying to push the pace too much on the first few rounds, which sort of was probably a good thing, because it made me a lot more consistent, and it didn't sort of blow out my heart rate too much on those earlier rounds, which meant that I could maintain a pace, even though I did slow down towards the end. But I definitely recommend when you get down to the bottom, just take a breath and then go straight back into the box jump overs to help keep that pacing and keeping that heart rate nice and low, which is going to make a big difference in how many rounds you will get. If your heart rate's up like 90 to 95%, definitely is going to play a factor compared to having it at sort of 80 to 85 or even lower than that. And obviously depending on the type of training you've done throughout the year as well. If you train with your heart rate up that high and able to maintain it, like a lot of the top athletes, then you're doing well. So with my next attempt, what's going to be different? Strategy wise, it's going to be pretty much the same. Just tidying up a few things that I've noticed watching back this workout. So for those that don't know, this is the first time that I've viewed this back also, so I get to sort of watch it for the first time with you guys whilst doing this voiceover. I'd like to be a little bit faster with my box jump overs towards the end, which I think is definitely possible now that I've done the workout once, and I know that the hamstring is feeling okay enough to complete this workout at least. With the dumbbell snatch, probably stay a little bit more aggressive. With the dumbbell snatch, you would have noticed that my technique changed slightly towards the sort of later rounds. Again, that was just to control the heart rate a little bit more. And probably the one that I need to clean up the most is those wall walks. Like I mentioned at the start of the video, I was doing 5 steps towards the wall and then 4 steps back from the wall. I'd like to bring that down by 1 rep on each direction. So 4 towards the wall and 3 coming back away from the wall. That's the things that I'm going to be focusing on for my second attempt. Hopefully this can assist you guys watching in any way, even if it's something small that can knock 1 second off your time or something like that, or help you maintain your wall walks for longer, and I hope you do super well on your first attempt or on your repeat. Till next one.